I remember when I was in my first year of medical school, there was this girl in our class, and we have a small class of 75 med students who I had heard was an influencer or content creator. And this was in 2015. So, like, Instagram was just getting started. So, this was a very new thing at the time. And, like, I don't remember too much about her content, or like, I knew she had maybe like 5,000 followers or something, like, not something crazy. But I just remember it being a very unique thing that stood out, that she was this content creator. I didn't get started until 2021. And the way that I got started was because COVID had happened. I was watching a lot of YouTube, and I was learning a lot of YouTube. Like, I was learning like skincare and fitness, fashion, all of these different things that I'd never really explored before. And so I was really grateful because I was learning a lot from these YouTube creators and actually changing my own life. Like, I remember something I started doing was getting my clothes tailored, which I didn't even know was a thing. And so, like, I would bring this haul of clothes to the tailor, right? And we'd spend 2 hours just like measuring everything, and then I'd pick it up 1 or 2 weeks later, right? And like, I found like that helped a lot with my confidence and just the way that clothes looked on me. That's just one example, right? Like, I also learned about fitness. I started my first skincare routine ever during COVID. But the point is that I learned a lot during that time period from YouTubers and content creators. And so it always made me want to, it inspired me to give back and create, but I was always too scared to do it. And I always had the idea, or ever since then, I had the idea that, okay, what if I created content to help patients? Because I kept seeing the same type of scenarios in clinic. And I was like, instead of me answering these questions again and again to this person, I could just make a video about it and a million people could watch it, and they could all learn about the side effects of Zoloft or how Lexapro's dose, what's it used to teach, et cetera, et cetera. But I was always too scared to start, too scared to start. And then I had this friend from college. This dude was a Section 8 landlord, and he always played around with social media. I remember like a funny thing he used to do in college was he would send us these Snapchat videos of him singing Miley Cyrus songs. And like, I just remember it being the funniest thing I had ever seen in my life. And like, you would do this like once a month or something. Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift, etc. But anyway, so this guy posts on TikTok or on his Instagram story that he got 10,000 followers on TikTok. And I was like, holy crap. And so I looked at his account, lo and behold, it was true. I didn't even have a TikTok at that point. I literally made one just to look at it. And then I was like, you know what? If this guy can do it, I can do this. And so then I had started my social media journey. And yeah, now 5 years later, right, here we are. As grateful as I am that I started in residency, I wish I'd started earlier. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is that the earlier you start, the less our time is worth and the more kind of free time we have to do it. So, case in point, right? As a med student, we're all in debt. We're paying for school. As a resident, I'm paying, or I'm getting paid 50K, 60K, so not that much. As an attending, I can be getting paid hundreds of dollars per hour. So if let's say I start late in the game, right? I start in attending hood. There's somewhat of an uphill climb learning social media, right? You got to learn the hooks and the hoops. You got to learn about a hook attention. You got to find the right target audience, get consistent, get comfortable with the camera. There's a lot of different things that you got to learn. And so I think it's harder to learn as intending because when you're older, you're just more like not cranky, but oh, new technology, blah, blah, blah. I'm only 32 and I feel this way. I think technology and stuff is moving so quick. But more importantly, it's that our time is worth so much at that time practicing. So any time that I take to learn social media, I'm sacrificing $300 an hour to learn this craft, right? Which can be a lot. Whereas as a resident, my time was not very worth much. So it's okay, whatever. And as a med student, our time's not worth anything. So it's okay. I can definitely do this. And life only gets more busy as you move on, not less busy. So that's another reason why I wish I'd started in med school, right? Because like when I was in med school, I thought that, wow, life is so busy and I'm studying all the time. And oh my gosh, I have time for the gym and med school. That's about it. Socializing once every 2 weeks. As I matured and learned, I learned that, okay, residency is even more busier than attending life is busier, right? Responsibilities only add up and you just get better at handling it. But the other reason I wish I'd started earlier in med school is because then my audience would have grown with me. So there's this influencer I started following during COVID. And so this guy's story basically is that he had moved home from after college, and then he started a YouTube in his parents' house, and then slowly grew the YouTube, grew it over time, and then he got bigger, got more followers, started earning more money from it. So he started traveling around more. I got to see this guy live in various places like Dubai and Thailand and stuff, just following along the journey. And so now, 5, 6 years later, like this influencer is now living in Bali, Indonesia. And so I almost followed along this guy's journey. And so I'm thinking that if I'd started in med school, then people could have followed along my journey. So I started in residency, right? So a lot of my loyal, most OG viewers, especially on TikTok, they've seen me go through that, right? But a lot of my newer people, because I've really honed in on content creation over this last year, they've only seen me as an attending, so they haven't seen me through the growth phases. And so this limits the connection that they feel towards me. As a content creator, what I'm really trying to do is establish a connection with the viewer. So you watching this, I'm trying to build rapport with you. I'm trying to build connection. I want you to feel connected to me so that way you keep watching my videos and you want to get help from me, right? Because you're already getting value from my videos. And so something I realized when I was watching this creator was that I was learning a lot as I was watching his lessons. Let's say he made a mistake, like he moved to this city and he made a mistake, or he dated this girl and it didn't work out, right? Or he tried this fitness plan and it was great, but this diet sucked. I got to see that journey, and then learn alongside this influencer. And so I wish that I could have been there for the people who follow me, like my audience, right? Seeing me grow and evolve as a med student, as a resident, because it's a whole 10-year journey. And obviously now at 32, I'm a much different person than I was starting medical school in 2015 at 22. So it would have been nice to see that. Alex Ramosi said, imagine if we could go back and learn, imagine if Jeff Bezos had documented his journey across his Amazon building, and how much wisdom we could have gotten from that, from the humble beginnings of Amazon to now the worldwide giant it is today. So same thing, right? Because now I see a lot of these medical content creators. I see like med student influencers, pre-med, resident influencers, right? And some of them I've seen for a couple years, and you get to track them along their journey. When they go from third year, now fourth year, they're trying to decide, they're seeing how they're going to match, and they're hopeful that the match is going to work out. And then seeing that, oh yes, they matched into their specialty, or even know if they didn't match, right? Seeing that journey. And I feel more connected, bonded to the people I watch, which is helpful as a medical influencer, right? Because when it comes time for us to monetize, whether we have a book to sell, or our private practices, or coaching, or courses, or brain deals, whatever it is, our audience has watched us evolve and grow, so they have more trust with us, which means they're more likely to buy our product, right? And but it's also that we can inspire people too. For example, me telling you that, hey, go work out and exercise, you're like, okay, whatever, right? But me saying that, okay, I used to be 200 pounds and then I brought it down to 150. And if I show you that journey and you watch me track my diet and my weight every day, and the workouts, and you see it go down, then you become a lot more inspired, because you see that, okay, so this person could do it, I could do it, right? It's that mirror neurons, just like with my friend who was the Section 8 the influencer. So I saw him do it and I was like, I can do this because I saw him. So that's another reason that I wish that I had started earlier. And also that, just imagine a plane, right? The longer a plane takes on the runway, the faster and further it can fly. So similarly, if I had started earlier, then I would have learned the skill set earlier. I would be better at making content now if I'd started 5 years before rather than when I did start, right? I'd be much better at the skill set. I would have more followers if I'd started earlier, right? Which in turn leads to more influence, more impact, more monetization, brain deals, whatever we want to get. So yeah, obviously I can't change the past, right? And it's not that I regret it, it's just that I didn't know, right? And knowing what I know now, I wish I would have started day one of med school and would have just shared my whole journey along the way. So yeah, if you're listening to this, is your sign, right? The best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, but the second best time is today. Yeah, definitely, I would encourage you to get started if you've been thinking about it. If you've already started, keep going. Definitely check out our medical creator community down below. It's where I help medical creators, med influencers get their first 10K followers. So definitely check that out. And I'll see you in the next video.